And welcome to Bama Geeks. It's episode 73. We are live almost to Memorex.
Almost.
Oh, kids, do you remember the days of cassette tapes?
Yes, I do.
Sticking pencils in there to rewind.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And the terror when you heard your tape being eaten by your tape player, and
I was about to say that wasn't the good old days at all. when you could get maybe you as soon as you bought the cassette tape, it was limited. Like you knew that you were only going to get to hear this so many times before your player decided to try to eat it.
If it got eaten or got old, it started warbling.
Yeah. The days of recording your songs from the radio and trying to stop it before the DJ started talking.
And now, like, I would love to have some of those tapes with the DJ talking.
I would too. I would too. I miss that. Well, you still have it. Oh, he does.
Still have it.
You need to digitize that.
I need to. I really need to.
So, if you guys aren't on YouTube, Brock is holding up a cassette tape
of me as the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
What year is that? 94. I see.
I was 17 years old. It was February 12th, 1994.
Mm-hmm.
I have listened to some of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me think. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, you think my jokes are bad now? You should have heard them when I was actually doing them on the radio as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Brock has officially forgotten how to use a Walkman. He's put the thing in different directions like 3 times now.
It wouldn't close.
That made me think, as we're talking radio DJ, this is something we could randomly talk about at the end about, some Alabama DJs.
Oh, goodness.
Just thought about that.
Granted, I don't know if you guys want to cover it, but there was one set of like radio personalities.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. We can do that later on. That wasn't in the plans. So I just
we could touch on that. Go on.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Derailed the intro.
That's all right. I'm Brock Parker. That's my wife, Jess.
Hello.
Over that way.
I'm here.
On YouTube.
Hi.
And then we got Kevin Gardner.
What's up?
And Bo Bearden.
Yes.
So we hope you're doing well. Everybody here so far seems to be doing. Watch this, Kevin is typing in there.
I guess I missed that.
Oh, I had to make sure. So as a lot of podcasting, I don't know, quad, whatever we call us, the four of us, we have a shared document that so that we can make sure that we know what we're going to be talking about. And I just put in what we were going to be talking about here in just a few that Bo alluded to there. We're being purposely vague because we want to talk about it at the end and hopefully flow into it with our with our topics. So we're always playing this. We come in with a plan sometimes, but most of the time we don't. So
most of the time we don't. And we treat this, honestly, when we're recording, we treat this as a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess kind of whenever we do our live streams, it'll be just as wonky.
Yeah.
There you go. You're letting secrets out.
What?
You're letting secrets out to the audience.
What secret?
That we live stream?
No. You're just like, with that. A lot of times we don't have stuff, planned.
Well, that's the beauty of this, because we're from the South. We're from Alabama. Things in a lot of people in Alabama really do better when they just go by the seat of their pants.
So,
sometimes
anybody that's listened to us before, okay, and Jess, we've talked about this a couple of times. The way that this podcast is this basically we're just like an bunch of old folks sitting at Jack's, just talking, jawing on about whatever is going on. We just keep the politics out of it. That's pretty much what it is. That's us.
We really should get some sound effects of like restaurant noises just to play throughout the background noise and the whole entire episode. Occasionally an old man yelling about spilt coffee or something.
I could probably go sit at our Jack's here where I live and just record it.
Yeah.
Go, sir, what are you doing? Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Can you keep it down a little bit?
Can somebody yell?
We can mix it in with some Waffle House.
Myrtle with my biscuits.
Give me my biscuit. Anyway. So intro, Brock, Jess, Kevin, Bo.
Yeah,
Love you guys.
That's fine.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
how y'all doing? So, yeah, we're just, I don't know, man. I've lost my train of thought now.
Organized chaos.
is.
Chaos.
Herding
introduction.
cats.
Herding cats.
There we go.
So, we're going to kind of discuss what we've been up to. But, I got to stop watching the document. So, yeah, I
My bad. I think
was
I
that
just-
you?
I think I just
Let's just go Milli Vanilli and blame it on the rain, okay?
no,
So
because
yes.
what happened was is I have my phone kind of propped up right here because I keep my note from my Southern word and phrase, and it slid, and then it slid across the keyboard of my laptop, and I think it messed up the document.
It
So,
did
Nah.
because it like Kevin had written housekeeping in here and just dropped her phone or something, and now it says hashtag / housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping. So
Housekeeping.
at least it doesn't say lousekeeping because that would be really bad.
Yeah, and I deleted it. I deleted
Yeah.
our other topic up there, but
What was it? Hang on.
yeah, the recent passing.
Oh my God, guys.
Okay, Jess, go up to the top
I
and hit
messed
the
up.
undo arrow
Oh my God.
up there at the top of the document.
You guys are killing me, man.
Okay. This episode brought to you by Hooked on Phonics.
Oh my gosh.
Work
Okay,
for
okay.
me.
When we
Not
get
even
this
a thing
fixed, let's all
anymore.
just take our hands off the keyboards, okay? And Jess, take your phone and put it over there on the table behind you, okay?
She's dropped it twice. No, she dropped the back scratcher earlier.
Back
Cross
scratch.
it.
Just did it again. What? Oh, never mind.
Okay.
Okay, so
Let me fix this for Jess. Hang on.
okay.
Y'all
well,
go ahead.
Well,
Y'all go
while we're
ahead.
doing that, Bo,
Give us
what
a
have you
listen.
been up to, buddy?
Let's see. For me, it's been interesting few weeks. Had let's see. Trying to think since the last time we went, we talked. I worked, and then of course I flipped around. Had a couple of good possibilities I had hoping to plan. Didn't work out. I won't discuss that because no need to drag into it. But of course, and then Friday I saw these guys. We'll discuss
What?
that later on.
Who are you?
Yeet.
Yeah. And then of course Saturday we decided to take the kiddo to McWayne Center. This will be fun. I can talk to and I can throw it anyway. But before we went to McWayne Center, we actually finally tried the Pazitz Food Hall.
Ooh. And what was the food of choice?
For myself, I chose the standard because I don't
Good
know why
choice.
I've been on a hot dog kick here lately, and they had I think it was the Birmingham dog. They had meat sauce, sauerkraut, I think some mustard on it.
That sounds
I did-
good.
I did that with some tater tots. That was my choice. The kiddo, he went from Uno's, I think it's Uno's Tacos, and he just got like a chicken taco with lettuce and cheese. Did good with that. And then the which also he got the bag of chips, and of course their bag of chips they cooked them, but then they wrapped them in plastic or saran wrap. And of course he decides, hey, I'm gonna open my chips, and then we decided to have a chip explosion on the table there. So hopefully whatever germs that was on the Pazitz Food Hall table, we should be hopefully strong with now.
Yeah, immune to.
Weren't
And then-
the tater tots at standard like perfect?
Yes, wonderful. I'll digress on what they had, and then the missus, I think she had some kind of hula bowl from Ono Poke or some kind of poke. But that was my first time going in there after hearing all the rant and raving about Pazitz. But yes, like I said, I think it was the Birmingham dog and the tater tots. Yeah, those tater tots were amazing. Like I would put them up in any kind of restaurant tater tots. Those are very high quality. I was very happy with it. I enjoyed the food. We're definitely going to try to go back to try some of the other places in there, but it was interesting. Like now I know I see where actual sidewalk is actually held at. Now I know.
Right.
I thought it was at one of those the older theaters in the area, but it's actually I didn't go into the sidewalk area, but now I know where it's at. I was thinking it was more on the other side of town.
Yeah. I figure I realized that when we went that night too. I was like, well, there's it. There it is right there.
Yeah,
Well, the good thing about Pazitz, Bo, is that you can like not go for like 6 months, and then there'll be like a couple of new restaurants in there.
Yeah, I got that feeling. There was an opening spot, but I'm hoping the standard stays there because I was very happy with what I had. I know they have another restaurant in I think it was Vestavia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time you go back, definitely try one of the burgers.
Yeah. Oh,
They
I
had the
figured.
burgers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the
so
burgers are
good.
fantastic there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been on a hot dog brat kick because like Friday, my missus is going out of town, so Friday, me and the missus went out and did a couple of things, and we tried dinner at was it in the Grove in Hoover called the Casual Pint. It's more of a
Mhm.
craft
Okay.
beer place, but they had some food, and I got a bratwurst from them. Like I said, I don't know why, just hot dogs are like my thing right now.
It's because you've been grilling a lot more lately.
That is true. That is true. That's the other thing. I've got to get some. I want to do some Kaneka sausage on my grill. That's my next.
Yeah.
Let me
that's my
know when.
next-
Yeah.
you guys will know. Yes.
I'll
And
come
I-
over.
And I know. Speaking on food, I'm sure you guys heard Post Office Pies is closing in Avondale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want
There's
to
a-
go up there before they close
Mhm.
because they're so good.
But yeah, we did the Bazits, and then we did McWayne Center, which I mean, if you've been to McWayne, it's fun. I enjoy it. My son loves it. We got one of his friends, and their family came with us, and we did that with them. Watched what was it? Some IMAX movie about the sea. I don't know what it is. This is the second time it's happened to me. I went with him on his field trip last year, and this time I don't know if it's the comfy seats and then just standing there, they're sitting there and watching the movie. I get sleepy, and I actually took a 5-minute dad nap in the middle of that IMAX movie.
Did you snore?
I if you could, you wouldn't have heard me because like that thing is, the IMAX is like ridiculously loud.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
If it
Rocky's
wasn't,
pointing
like I
at
said,
Jess right now, if you're not on YouTube.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've only fell asleep once in a theater for a movie, and that's because I went to a midnight showing. I think it was the which Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It might have been the second one, the one that's ridiculous, second or third one that's ridiculously long.
The third
Mhm.
one.
And we
Third
went to the midnight screening, so it was like 2:30 in the morning. So
Mm.
yeah, I was hurting, but that's the only time that's happened. But like normally we go to that IMAX theater, something about that. That's those seats are comfy. It's you're sitting there, you got your headrest back, looking up because it doesn't matter. Even if you're at the top, you're still watching it like this. So
Oh, I have never seen an IMAX movie at McWayne, so I didn't know that their seats did that.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's got the big dome, and you're kind of
Mhm.
you're
Well,
just kind of
Yeah.
And it can be jarring too if you're used to seeing IMAX on a formal flat screen in front of you. Seeing it on a
Yeah.
dome can like actually start messing with you if you've got motion
Yeah.
sickness.
yeah. That it would like I've seen when Star Trek Into Darkness came out. I saw that. That's the only like non-dome movie. Yeah, the only non movie that was made for a dome that I've seen there.
Hmm.
So
Nice.
So
love that
what was
movie.
it? Was it Attack of the Clones?
oh wow,
Yeah, I think it was Attack of the Clones. They did Attack of the Clones, and it was at the Huntsville
Yeah.
Space and Rocket Center. They had the dome there. They
Yeah.
did it there, and I went and saw it. Their dome's even smaller than McWayne.
Oh wow.
So it was that one made me motion sick whenever I watched it.
I'm sad they've been doing like movie showings there, and they did show Afterlife at one point. I meant to get to go see it there, but I never did. So maybe they'll do Frozen Empire.
Oh,
Maybe so.
nice.
And we're going to talk about that coming up. Well,
Yeah.
the new
Mhm.
trailer came out, and it's been analyzed already. So
Yeah.
we're not going to analyze it. We're just going to give our
Aw.
reaction to it.
But
There's plenty of other more thorough reviews
Yeah.
from friends of ours that
Mhm.
that are out
We
there.
could talk about
So,
the international trailer since Jess won't watch it.
yeah, we won't.
No,
I
I'm
won't spoil it
joking,
for
I'm
her.
joking.
Jess refuses to watch the international trailer. She wants to go into it kind of like Afterlife, a little bit clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the point now I don't care because
Yeah.
the long 30-year lull is over.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, that's it for me. So tag
Okay.
up.
Well,
what's you, Kev?
I'm going to be a lot more boring. I'm still in recovery mode from coming back from Universal. So I've been kind of, more than anything, just kind of hiding in my shell because I saw the credit card statement after that.
Ooh.
That
Woohoo!
was
Yes,
super
sir.
fun, and I was like, oh my god. So kind of looking at that, but I mean, probably the highlight for me is something incredibly boring. I'm actually building out network equipment in my house right now, and building out a formal network in my house, and trying to be a little more official and be a little more techie with my setup. So building that out in one of my closets in the house, and that's kind of been consuming my time and my interest. And anybody that's familiar with Alabama summer weather knows that if you want to do anything in your attic, or you want to do anything in your crawl space, you do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
You don't wait till the summer, because if you wait till the summer, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to,
they're going to find you up there.
Exactly. And honestly, this time of year, it's still going to be interesting because I had some electricians come out a few weeks back that went up into my attic and installed a plug for me, which kind of what kicked all this off. And guy came back down and he was carrying a 4-foot snake skin out of the attic. So I've had some snakes up there at some point. It's a snake skin. It could have been up there for decades and it still be there. But still, I'm just like, I'm gonna bring a nice hammer up there in case I have to do battle with a snake while I'm up there. So
have we told you our snakeskin story?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I don't know if you've told the stream, but I know about it and your door.
This door right here.
Mm-hmm.
I had a box sitting back there for like a couple of weeks, just kind of out of the way for temporarily, and then when I went to pick it up, it was propped against the back of this door, and
we did talk about this on the podcast.
Did we?
You did,
yes, we did.
Just a refresher, because
Yeah.
who knows who's listening. But
it's been a
I
while.
picked up the box and put my hand back there, and like something was moist, kind of damp,
and fresh one too.
Yeah, it was fresh. I look back there and there's a snake skin. And I'm like, this isn't like crinkly. This is, oh my gosh, the snake was just here in our house overnight. And Jess's dad's got this app that can scan snake skins or stuff like that and can tell what. Oh, it was just a little old green snake. I'm like, I don't care. So yeah. So every crack I could find got sealed around this door. I'm not having a snake in my house. I hate snakes.
The one that they got out of my attic was a rat snake. It was, and then those are friendly snakes. But it's still, it's one of those where, if you're afraid of snakes, that's just the kind of work you don't do. I mean, I'm more concerned with going into the crawl space and running into something like that than. But they like to climb, and then they get into areas that are warm. That area. You get into the fiberglass, and you can hibernate there and not have to worry about it. So
yeah.
And I probably unlocked the fear, a known fear in quite a few of our viewers, and I apologize that there could potentially be snakes above you right now.
Well, I just remember because when we were talking about that on the podcast, I think the comment was made. There could be a snake in the Parker household.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
then we were ribbing you guys for like 2 episodes, I think, about it.
Yeah. And that's been 3 years ago now. So
was that long ago? No.
Oh, dude, we've been doing
or at least 2 years.
That's about 2 years. That was like one of our first episodes. I remember it was like
we're coming up on 3 years of the podcast. Yeah.
It's crazy.
You guys, we've been jawing on for 3 years now, and people are still listening to us. It's pretty amazing.
Surprisingly.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Just existing. Cool. Nothing really super cool and exciting, like Bo had there. But just hanging out.
Cool.
Trying to be Southern.
Well, and I'm gonna clear my throat here in just a second, so I'm gonna go mute myself once one of y'all start talking again. Basically, what we've been up to is what we're going to talk about in this segment. So we'll go ahead and divert you to our social media. How about that?
Sure.
Do it.
So at Bama Geeks on Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. We have found some new viewers over the last couple of days, which has been nice. And we'll tell you why in a minute. But you can also join us on the front porch, the Bama Geeks front porch. Just search that out on Facebook. I think that's probably been the only place I've posted outside of our Alabama GB Facebook group since New Year's Eve. I've not posted on my personal Facebook since 2023. Happy New Year.
Yeah, man.
So I told y'all one of my New Year's resolutions was to be off social media a little bit more, and it's helped. I've actually felt good, good mental place. But, if you want to join us on social media, I am posting to Bama Geeks stuff a little bit. So, but patreon.com/Bama Geeks. That's where you pay $5 a month and you hear us jaw on some more.
It's usually pretty interesting. I'll throw out some dad jokes every once in a while. They're a little more racy,
So yeah, but usually about 30 minutes prior to every episode, we'll sit there and record stuff for Patreon as well. So, and there's going to be some extra stuff coming down the pike, as priorities loosen up, like master's degree done in May.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Getting that time.
got a lot of reading to do between now and the end of March. But once March hits, I'll take 4 comprehensive essays back to back over a 2-day period. Then I'm done.
Wow.
My cap and gown are waiting for me. That's been ordered. I got to go pick it up Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. So, anyway, Jess, I'm going to let you do your Southern words and phrases if you'd like, because I really need to clear my throat.
Sure, go right ahead.
So we're going to make Jess larger than life here because she is tiny.
Hi.
There you are. Go ahead, honey.
Okay. So for this episode, I have selected the phrase, "Gimme some sugar."
I do that all the time.
So we're not literally passing the sugar. This phrase means more like, "Come over here and give me some of that sweetness. Give me a kiss." This phrase is often heard from pawpaws and meemaws
I was going to say, it's not heard from you.
when they see their grandbabies and they want to give kisses as much as receive them. This phrase is mostly used among loved ones. I should also note that it would be pronounced sugar, so as we rarely use ours. So it's not sugar, it's sugar.
Give some sugar.
Give me some sugar.
Okay.
There we go.
There you go. Well, thank you, baby.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Pour some sugar on me. Sorry.
We aim to educate.
Sugar. Pour some sugar on me. All right, guys, you ready for an awesome dad joke?
If that were a country song.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the pause there. Okay, so I got a really good one. I've already been cracking dad jokes like crazy. You guys really need to join Patreon if you haven't, because if you love dad jokes, I'll jaw on for as long as these guys will let me. Just cracking dad jokes, but I think I got a pretty good one. To my fellow Bama geeks here, what was a more important invention than the invention of the first telephone? The invention of the second telephone.
It is true.
Gotta have somebody to talk to.
Well, that's
Hello, Alexander Graham Bell calling.
reach out and touch someone.
Give me that sugar.
So there's your dad joke for the day.
All right. Thank you very much. Oh, keeping it PG.
And if you don't want me to keep it PG, then make sure you join Patreon.
It is PG there. It's not R.
Well, that's a good thing I didn't tell the joke that I told you guys before we started recording. But anyway.
Oh, that was before we recorded.
Yeah.
That could be another tier. Dad jokes after dark. There's your
Yeah,
tier.
well, those are uncle jokes.
Twilight Kevin.
Yes.
So, well, I guess before we get into what we've been up to, especially this past weekend, I want to show something off. This is really cool. Of course, we mentioned Patreon because we have one, but I'm also a Patreon subscriber to a very good friend of ours, Dan Schoening, who most everybody in our circle knows him as the artist. He did all the artwork for the Ghostbusters comic books for IDW. So that run. So anyway, Dan gives away an original sketch every month on his Patreon. And lo and behold, I won it in November. So I just got this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, let me blow this up. This is from Dan. That's Doc Brown hanging from the clock. You know, as the lightning is hit, he's got to get down there, or he's got the plug hanging off his foot. He's got to plug back in and then get down and reconnect it down there. So anyway, that's an original sketch from Dan.
That's awesome.
Doc Brown. What was really cool is not only did that show up, what was it, Thursday? or so.
Yeah.
Also on Thursday, from Official Picks, y'all know how much I love that company. Dual signed from Christopher Lloyd and Mary Steenburgen, and Mary's it actually says to Brock and Jessica.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah, Chris- I don't think Christopher does personalization because, like, when I got his autograph at Dragon Con, that was not an option.
no, and he didn't. He didn't offer personalizations or quotes or anything on this. It was just straight signature.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mainly what he does. But yeah, that's Clara and Doc, an 11x14 that I got through Official Picks. I couldn't help. I couldn't resist
Nice.
that one when I saw that.
No, that's no good call on that.
Yeah. So I like to. One of my big hobbies is collecting autographs. I've done it ever since I was in high school. I used to write, actually elementary school. I used to write to people all the time in elementary school. Sorry about that. I was putting that behind me. Celebrity Authentics, another company, did another recent private signing, and I got to back up for this one. Kinda, maybe. One of my all-time favorite movies. My daughter saw this weekend and said, "Dad, when you die, I inherit this." Thanks, honey.
Yeah.
But check that out. Nicolas Cage
Nice.
on a big National Treasure poster.
I figured it would be Con Air, but okay.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Con Air was good, but I really love put this over here so I can get in front of the mic. I really love National Treasure. It's one of my all-time favorites. Really adore it. Jess never saw it till we started dating.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nicolas Cage did a private signing with Celebrity Authentics, and so I was able to get him personalized. Love it.
Do you want to tell the second part of that? Because it's kind of funny. You had a good laugh about it. What was included along with the poster?
Oh, well, I don't have it near me.
Oh, okay.
But Celebrity Authentics will sometimes send you like they have a card series. Like I got Haley Atwell when I got my who did I order from them?
Was it Michael Keaton?
Yeah, it was Michael Keaton as Batman. And they included a collector's card. They call it Legendary Cuts. It's where they have the actors as they're sitting there. They also signed a bunch of trading card type things.
Yeah.
And for Michael Keaton, I got Haley Atwell. I'm like, that's awesome. I'm like, who am I going to get with Nicolas Cage? Open it up, Nicolas Cage. So I got 2 Nicolas Cages for the price of 1.
What if it's John Travolta, maybe?
It could be.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you thought.
All of a sudden, you start hearing just like very faint Bee Gees in the background. Oh my God.
See, for me, you're talking about getting the signed Con Air. While I love Cage and Con Air, I believe if I wanted a Con Air autograph, it would have to be John Malkovich. That's just. I don't know what it is, but the last like 5 to 10 years, I have loved John Malkovich.
Mm-hmm.
Might be one to get.
I have one more to show you.
Okay.
Now, I have met every one of these people, but I've never had their autograph on the same thing. And I know Bo's going to love this one. So I couldn't help but check that.
Oh,
there they are.
Nice.
So what are we seeing, Brock?
We are seeing a cast signed 11x14 picture from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
The entire senior staff, pretty much.
All 7 of them. There's LeVar and Brent Spiner and Michael Dorn, Jonathan Frakes, Case McFadden, Marina Sirtis, and the man himself, Sir Patrick Stewart.
That is wonderful. Ooh.
I finally have acquired all of them on one.
Nice.
I've got them all separately several times over, but the first time I've ever had a cast signed photo. So this one's definitely going to get framed and put up somewhere. I don't know where yet, but this one's going up.
There's a way if somebody makes like an L-Cars themed frame, that might be your way to go.
Oh, like an L-Cars mat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for certain. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. But yeah, I can't.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I love that. I thought you'd appreciate that one, Bo.
Yes, of course. Of course.
So that's just it. I love autographs. I have probably easily over 100 or more. Probably a lot more than 100 because that's my hobby.
Yeah.
One of my big hobbies outside of toy collecting is collecting autographs. And I've got one, like recently I got Dick Van Dyke. I've got one more coming. I'm trying to think. I think I should only have one more. that I did a private signing with, and that was with Linda Carter as Wonder Woman.
And we're actually going this weekend in person to get another autograph.
Oh yeah, I remember last year we went to see Heather Langenkamp on the Nightmare on Elm Street poster. Well, this weekend we'll be going to see Robert England. We're
Where's
going
he
to go
at this
to
weekend?
Atlanta Comic Con.
Oh, that is this weekend. That's right.
Yeah.
So we're going to go see Robert and get. I've already got, I've told the story. I've got him autographed on my Freddy glove that he wore for our photo shoot. He actually wore my glove. And then we've got an 8x10 signed by him and Heather. And now we've got the big poster that was signed by Heather. We're going to go get Robert this weekend on it.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting a long line for him, because he normally takes forever with everybody because he's such a good guy. He loves meeting the fans.
Yeah.
So we got to get there early and go straight to his line. Then we can explore the rest of the convention.
It's looking to me like a big convention over there. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Atlanta Comic Con's fun.
That convention's going on. I think Comic-Con's this weekend in Birmingham. And for those who are
It
interested
is.
in that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's that weekend. This is weekend too.
Yeah. I looked over the guest list in case we wanted to go on Sunday, and there was nobody.
No.
Yeah. Well, we're not the intended demographic, which is
No,
understandable.
we're not.
Yeah, it's
Nothing
not
wrong with
our
that.
wheelhouse.
So anyway, what we did do this past weekend, Friday night, actually, WWE SmackDown was in town at the BJCC. And the three of us, Bo and Jess and myself, we wound up bringing all of our kids. Excuse me. We had, of course, last episode, we told you all about the Montgomery show where we stood outside and froze.
Yeah, wasn't like that this time. It was very comfortable weather.
Yeah. It was really good. But we got there. My kids did not know what was going on. They just knew I was picking them up early from school over in Georgia. And so ran, got them, came right back. And it was funny. I wasn't going to tell them until we were in the parking deck at the BJCC. But as we're driving up over by Topgolf, there was some WWE tractor trailers sitting out there. And my son, of course, his head was in his Nintendo Switch, so he wasn't paying attention. He didn't see it. And my daughter looked over, and she was in the front seat with me, and she looks over at me and she goes, "Is that what we're going to go see?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, he's going to freak out." Because even though they had just been to WWE a couple of months or a couple of weeks earlier, this was SmackDown. This was the big show. And so we got into the parking deck, and I handed my shirt, I handed my son his LA Knight shirt. I said, "Here, you need to put this on." "Why do I need this?" And I just looked at him. I'm like, "Well, I don't know. It's Friday night." And he looks at me. "Are we going to SmackDown? Is SmackDown here? Are we going to SmackDown?" And I said, "Welcome to SmackDown." "Oh, yeah." He does not get animated very, very easily. He was excited. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm actually at SmackDown." I said, "Yeah, son, you're going to be all over Fox tonight." And we were.
And he was, yes. He was. You could definitely point David out with a red shirt. And
if you watch SmackDown from this past Friday night, which was February 2nd, and you see the wide angle shots, like looking at the ring while the wrestlers are in there, look just above the ring, and there's usually if you're looking at on the left hand side of your screen, there's this red LA Knight shirt that just sticks out. That's my son. And he got in several, we all got in several shots on Fox.
Yeah.
So.
We didn't. We got on TV more this time. Thankfully, being sitting lower down. We were a couple rows down from where Brock and I went to Raw a year ago. So we were definitely getting on camera this time.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And this is the first time you've taken your son to a WWE event, right, Bo?
Yeah. We were definitely not going to be on TV because I waited. Well, I waited to see how work schedule lined up, and then if he wanted to do it. So, and as time grew closer, especially like I was waiting to see, and then once I saw the events of the Royal Rumble, I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do this. And We were up high. We were like row F in one of the upper sections, but I will say we could have been row Z at the top because it was slap full house.
It was full.
Yeah, it was sold out.
Mhm.
More than 10,000 people were there,
Yeah.
and sold that place out.
It was funny you talk. That's how I found you guys, looking for you guys. I was like, I know Dave has his red shirt, and I was like, and we were across, like we were kind of like you guys were here, I was here up here. So as soon as I found Dave's shirt, then I found you guys.
Yeah.
He had a good time. He was nervous about being up that high. He's not a fan of heights, which I was like, bud, this is good. I said, I understand. I'm nervous about heights too. And he's like, well, he goes into the overthinking mode. Unfortunately, I think he's got from me. But I was like, bud, they inspect this thing all the time. We're good. I prepared him for that and the fireworks, which he's glad I did that. Because he's very, once he gets easily overwhelmed in new situations, but once things got going, he got very comfortable. He had a good time. Like I said, that was his first. We've been to like independent shows, but this was much more grander production. But he enjoyed it. Like I said, we had a good time. Especially like I think what helped it was of course his generation. Logan Paul was there, so therefore he was cool. he doesn't watch wrestling as much with me as but I think this may be a catalyst to get him to watching it more with me. But we saw that, and then Logan Paul with the familiar faces with him, and a couple of the other guys he knows I like them, or he knows aware of them through me. And then of course we'll discuss the major person that showed up at the end. Also helped out because pretty much anybody alive now knows that person.
Yeah.
But he was when he did watch wrestling with me when I majority watched AEW, he much like kids his age, he latched on to Cody. He liked Cody, and therefore that was wonderful. Cody, that was one of the other things that made me. I was like, all right, Cody won the Rumble, therefore I knew he was going to be there, and I was like, you know what? Let me carry him at least see his favorite live one time.
You're right.
Yeah. My daughter does not watch wrestling at all. The only time she has really ever sat down to watch wrestling was at the Montgomery House show and being there live Friday night.
Yeah.
And when I told her that Logan Paul was going to be there, she kind of crinkled her nose. Really? He's going to be there? I'm like, yeah, Logan Paul's going to be here. She's like, oh, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, not a fan. She goes, no, not really. I don't like him. She goes, but I know who he is. I know exactly who he is. I said, well, he's going to be there. And she's like, okay. And, we had been hoping for LA Knight to show up, and Jess is gets to the arena a little bit earlier and she gets to see him.
I got to see him out in the parking lot. He didn't interact too much with everybody standing outside, but I did get to see him getting in his car, and he drove out. He actually drove out while we were standing there. So
that's when they told him he didn't have any shit.
Maybe so, because Bo was there with me about that time.
I saw him leave.
That him and Oliver met up with me over there, and Bo's like, "Where's he going?" It's like he's
home.
He went to Knoxville because he was on that card for that show last night in Knoxville.
Makes sense now.
Yeah, because he didn't come out at all. That was disappointing. That's our favorite wrestler, and that's my son's favorite wrestler, and so we're now 2 for 2 in not seeing him.
Yeah.
Well, I meant to tell you, I forgot to bring it up. Like I said, I don't want us to get too far ahead after the events. We'll discuss. You want to discuss the show, and then after what I encountered on our way home or our way out. I meant to tell you, but I forgot. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and we had an encounter as well.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, I'll throw that. And I'm mad I did not tell you because of the person y'all like. So anyway.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
We didn't get a picture. Did not get to interact with them, but we saw the person within 10 feet. So.
Okay, let's we'll get to that here.
Was it at a red light?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Y'all were walking away. Did you hear? I guess you might have heard the people hollering. I don't know.
We'll
save it for later.
Aren't we talking about this right now? Why don't you just talk about it right now?
Well, I'm doing progression. I don't want to jump ahead.
Oh.
No, well, it's after the show. No, Jess wanted to. We were walking outside on the way back to the car, and Jess was like, "Hey, can we stop here for a second?" It's where all the cars were coming out.
The
BJCC, and so we were seeing a bunch of the wrestlers in their vehicles, the rental cars driving out, and so we saw Shayna Baszler. She waved to everybody as she's heading out in a Jeep, And then Rhea Ripley drove out in a white Jeep. That's who it
we
was.
saw. That's who we saw. Yes.
Yeah, she got stuck at that red light for a bit.
Yeah.
I kept saying, Rhea Ripley's down there at that light right there. I mean, I could just run down there real quick.
And
Like I saw her, but I wasn't hassling her. I was like, I know them people they're ready to get out of there.
Yeah.
I'm done with work. I'm ready to go.
And it's like I told Jess, I'm like, what am I going to do? Run? I'm 47. I'm going to
Yeah.
hurt when I get down there. So I'm like, it's fine. We'll see her later.
But I was going to mention though, prior to the show beginning, because I like you were saying, I was out front. I did get to see Paul Heyman walk around outside, and then I got to talking to some people who were there. This gentleman and his son that had been there all day. Said they got down there about 10 o'clock that Friday, and he's showing me all the pictures that he got with his kid with the wrestlers, and of course one of them was CM Punk.
Pepsi Phil.
CM Punk was in Birmingham, and that's when you really hate the fact that I had to be at work today. Yeah. I could not take off. I could not be down here.
And supposedly CM Punk had his tricep surgery on Thursday in Birmingham. All the WWE wrestlers have surgeries in Birmingham. That's just Dr. Andrews.
That's because it's UAB.
Andrews.
Yeah, Dr. Andrews.
Andrews Sports Medicine, yeah.
Yeah, that they've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
This is where they always have their surgeries. And so Punk was in town, so why not just hang out for another day and see everybody.
Just go hang out at the arena with everybody. But yeah, there was some really great pictures this kid got with a lot of people, and a lot of NXT guys too. Yeah, were there.
And by the way, Jess used to do this. The same thing as this kid when she was working downtown Birmingham. She would go hang out like on lunch hour and stuff or whatever and get to meet all the wrestlers as they were coming in.
Or take the day off. You know? But that's what you always had to do whenever they were in town, whenever you were going to a show where it was going to be taped, you needed to get down there. Like they did, you needed to be down there around 10 o'clock in the morning, because they start getting there, and they'll be out walking around, walking up and down the fence. And sometimes you just get lucky. And that's how I got so many pictures and so many autographs and never had to pay a single cent for any of them.
Well, I mean, you did have to bring cold beverage 6-pack to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I did. I mean, you have to grab their attention. Now, you got to get somebody's attention, and you got to leave an impression. You got to make a mark. So that's, that worked. But yeah, I was really, like Bo and Oliver had come up, and it was just me telling Bo, like, I miss all this. I miss the days when I used to do all this, because it was so much fun. So much fun.
I got to do it once or twice, not every time, but I did it once or twice, and yeah, it's a fun time,
Yeah, I was really disappointed about CM Punk. That one got me
that
so
one does
bad
sting,
in the heart.
I agree.
Oh, that stung so bad, so bad.
Well, and Bo and I are going to go up to the AEW Dynamite and Collision taping in Huntsville at the end of the month. And so he and I were discussing when we needed to leave and get up there. I'm like, we need to find out if they're going to be doing any appearances while they're there that day. Because sometimes they'll just go around and do a quick meet and greet. AEW will.
Yeah.
So we need to find that out so we can get up there and meet some people.
But discussions of the show, like I said, if you can go back and see, the show, the SmackDown show on Peacock.
The one thing that I always watch for is crowd reaction, because a lot of YouTubers and podcasters who talk specifically about wrestling, you can measure how good the show is on TV by the crowd. And there's a lot of commentary about, wow, that crowd was dead. That crowd stunk. That crowd was good. Birmingham, props.
Yeah.
Big props to Birmingham, because the crowd came through wonderfully on the TV. We rewatched it on Saturday, and the crowd was electric, especially at the end. But the crowd was great all night, and I've heard a lot of commenters say, "Wow, Birmingham had a fantastic crowd."
The only two times the crowd kind of got me. I was the only time I was a little upset with our crowd. It's 2024. Wrestling fans, let go of the what recall. Please stop. That just drives me up the wall.
It's
Yeah.
the one thing that Brock regrets that Stone Cold ever
Oh, it
made
was great.
popular in his.
I think Stone Cold regrets it now.
Yeah, it's going on what? It's been almost 20 years since all of that, if more
yeah.
by now.
Yeah.
That and the like I said, the ladies match with Tiffany Stratton. That was like her first like main like they got more
That was her
animated.
first her main
The
roster
crowd
match.
got more animated at the end, but like at the very beginning of it, the crowd was dead to it, which I hated that because I've watched her in NXT and she's really good. She is really good.
Yeah.
Well, my Alyssa really liked her because of the whole Barbie theme.
Yeah, it's a great gimmick. It's
Yeah.
she's a girly girl, but she's tough. She is tough.
Yeah, it was a great debut match for her on the main roster. So
Yeah, it really was.
glad we could be there to see that.
Yeah.
I was really happy with the crowd response with Bailey. And the whole damage control situation.
That was so good.
That promo and everything went down very well, and the crowd's response to it was fantastic. So, so glad I was there to see that take place in person.
Yeah, that was it. Bailey's turn back to a. If you're not familiar with wrestling terms, a babyface, a good guy. It's the first time she's been a good guy, a babyface in 5 years.
Yeah, a couple of years now.
Yeah. So she won the Women's Royal Rumble the week before. So she's going to main event WrestleMania against Io Sky for her women's championship. But yeah, the crowd was really good for her. Everybody loves Bailey. Everybody's been cheering her lately. So it was inevitable, but how they did it, it wasn't a cheesy turn. It showed her as very intelligent, being able to speak Japanese and understand
stand up for herself too, and call out instead of making it. Somebody said, well, I heard a comment. They liked that better than the whole Batista being kicked out of Evolution story. How they did that, they said this made they didn't allow Bailey to be kicked out. She stood up for herself. She held her ground and stood up for herself, and because being intelligent and knowing that I've just been trying to make this great, and y'all have just been laughing and talking behind my back. I know what's going on. It's kind of thing. So
One thing that did not make it to television that I thought was very hilarious was Logan Paul, when he first came out, was going to do commentary for Kevin Owens. At one point, Kevin grabbed his bottle of Prime energy drink and slung it back towards the big screen, the big SmackDown screen, entrance screen, and all the ring crew, while they're out there in the middle of the match, are out there swapping.
They were feverishly cleaning that stuff up.
Were mopping and sweeping and cleaning it all up. And Grayson Waller ran to the back and grabbed another one and brought it out there to Logan on the commentary desk. And that happened apparently during a commercial break, because you never saw it on TV, but that was hilarious because Kevin threw it with the cap off. And it went everywhere.
Well, I was glad you got to see Kevin Owens finally in person.
I was very happy, because at the times I saw NXT, he was still with NXT, or he might have just got called up. But that was my first time to get to see him live. It was a good match, especially for him supposed to be hurt.
Yeah,
he's got a fractured foot.
Yeah, great promo between the two of them. Great match that he followed up with. So
and Bo has cosplayed Kevin Owens at Dragon Con before.
I need to bring back KO again, and I'd have to draw more tattoos now, because he's upgraded a lot since the last time.
Yeah, but no, good crowd all night. Great matches. Hate we didn't see LA Knight, but we got wind earlier in the day that a certain beefed up guy that everybody in the world knows by the name of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, we had caught wind that he'd been seen around Birmingham that day. It's like, oh, is he going to show? And so my daughter, naturally, who didn't care about the wrestlers a whole lot, she goes, oh wait, The Rock's here. The Rock's going to be here. So the entire show, she's like, where is he? Where is he? Is he going to come out? And I said, just be patient. If he's here, it'll be at the very end, because they always save him for the end. And
or the beginning.
Or the beginning, yeah. But he came out at the end. Cody Rhodes was supposed to challenge Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Universal, the WWE Universal title, and Cody introduced him, and man, that place was deafening. I've never heard a crowd that loud. Never.
Oh, that was insane.
But yeah, so The Rock came out all jacked up and fed off the energy of the crowd. My kids went ballistic. My daughter just screaming, jumping up and down. It was unbelievable.
I mean,
I mean, they're they see that as Dwayne the Rock Johnson, the movie star,
the movie star,
the celebrities that he is.
The guy who killed DC.
Yeah. That man right there killed the DC universe, ladies and gentlemen.
They brought him. But yeah, he came out. It was electric. He didn't say anything during SmackDown, but after SmackDown went off the air, then he, said, "Ladies and gentlemen, you witness history. We make magic in the Magic City." Birmingham's nickname. If you'd like to see his entire thing, close to 1,000 people have on our YouTube channel, at Bama Geeks on YouTube. Go over there and look. Posted the video that night of what he said to Birmingham afterwards. So Bama Geeks on YouTube. That's been our highest viewed video ever.
It's a lot of folks in the wrestling world are unhappy about that whole situation, but for us, they're experiencing it. That was cool. Like that was their first on-screen interaction since 6, 7 years ago.
Well, the last time I saw The Rock in a WWE event, an arena, was in Birmingham, was in '99. So that was me
it was 2000. But I mean, like the final interaction of him and Roman together since now because last time he was on screen with Roman, it was the whole raising his hand. I think after he won the Rumble. Yeah. He won the Rumble that one year, and they raised his hand. I think that's what it was, the Rumble. Either way, it was a while ago. That was the first time them on-screen interacting since now they're on polar ends of,
Yeah, they're on polar, the
ends of they're in conflict rather than
he wants to dethrone Roman as head of the table. But, the aftermath of this is what is, as of February the 4th, is the hot button topic in the wrestling community right now.
Yeah.
Is
a lot of people in the IWC, the internet wrestling communities, like to call themselves, all the hardcore fans. Boy, they're mad.
Yeah.
They're furious at WWE for The Rock taking over Cody's potential championship match. Hasn't been officially confirmed as of now, but anyway. I saw The Rock a little bit more up close back in 2000 when he was when we were living next to Columbus, Georgia. They came for a house show, and my ex-wife and I had front row seats to that house show, and Rock was there. So I've got some great pictures of him close up. And then I got to see him again in the 2002 Royal Rumble when it was in Atlanta. Those are the only 2 times I've seen him in person. So he's definitely a lot bigger now, both in terms of popularity and size.
Yeah, so much. And, to think that we were there in person to see that go down, and the aftermath and the result of what's happening now, from that event here in Birmingham has been quite an experience and an emotional roller coaster.
I understand people's frustrations, but I will tell you what, I will not trade that experience we had that night for anything. That was so cool. That was that was the Attitude Era level crowd and reaction. Like it's been a long time since I've been in a wrestling show and that type of reaction happened.
Yeah. But they did have a missed opportunity with Mick Foley also being in town for the World of Wills, making that rock and sock connection where they won the tag team belts here in Birmingham when they were supposed to be splitting up, and they won the championship. Mick Foley was like in the same complex, and there was no interaction.
Well, it was like I said, it was 25 years ago was when they had their ladder match in Birmingham. Yeah, that was also around that time frame. So there was a lot of neat things. Which I mean, maybe while he was there, he might have said hello to Mick. I would hope so. I'm sure they don't see each other very often anymore.
Yeah, I would be almost 100% sure that Mick, came on over and hung out while he was here. Because I mean, like I said, they were just within the same complex of each other, and with the events happening that weekend.
Made me think. Also, I want to give a big shout out to the BJCC for handling their busy weekend they had.
Oh my goodness!
On top of that, like that like used to. You remember it used to be like once ever so often a couple, something big would happen to BJCC. But during this weekend, you had SmackDown on Friday. While this weekend was going on, the World of Wheels, which is the big car show, which it draws a good crowd. Then I want to say last night, was it Kansas?
Yeah, Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas was in
Kansas had a concert at the concert hall along with the World of Wheels. I don't know if there was anything today, but it was a very busy weekend, and I have to say, like, it was not overly like for us for SmackDown. It was what I expected from a normal wrestling crowd, but was it miserable parking? It was a little aggravating getting out, but that's just because you had 10,000 people trying to leave at the same time.
Not for us.
Well, not for us.
The BJCC has put on several big events on same weekends. It seems like in more recent history that they've done that. I mean, they had Garth Brooks, and they had another with was it Alabama Comic-Con that was there with Garth Brooks at the same time? Yeah. They've handled a lot of major events there in the course of a weekend several times. Kudos to them. Definitely. I think they've got a system down, because I've had no issues during any of these huge weekends. And probably why we didn't have a big issue getting out is because, like I said, Jess wanted to sit and
I wanted to take a peek and see who I could see leaving that night. So
Zelina Vega, who is one of the female wrestlers, who's 5'1", she's shorter than Jess. She drove out she was in a Jeep, I think, and she could barely see with the steering wheel. It was funny.
After SmackDown went off the air, as Brock mentioned, Rock did he talked to the audience. We uploaded that video. They also had 2 dark matches. They had Rhea Ripley fighting Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, and then Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre,
which was good.
Yeah, and Sami cut a good promo, and that one has also been recently uploaded to our YouTube as well.
Yeah,
so
all our social channels, you can find the Rock's video and Sami Zayn's video.
Speaking of promos, they had a guy with a camera recording Drew as he came out. They posted at WWE socials, and you seen what he said. I was like, they need to stop that man. He is on a he is going for blood, man.
I love Drew McIntyre. He's been poking so much fun at CM
he lives in like Nashville now. I think him and Sheamus both moved there. I know.
Really?
I think Sheamus does live in Nashville. I can't remember if he does for sure or not, but I think he did. He does.
That's awesome. Drew was mimicking CM Punk coming out, tapping his watch and going, "It's clobbering time," and making fun of him. It's been fantastic. But after we watched everybody leaving the arena, we're like, okay, let's cut through the Sheraton, which is right next to the BJCC. Let's cut through there and that go to our car, because it's an easy shortcut to the parking deck. Well, as we're walking into the Sheraton, lo and behold, I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with him as Nick Aldis, the guy who is currently the SmackDown general manager on screen. He's a big boy. He is built.
Yeah.
He's married to Mickie James, who is
lucky man.
Yeah. Well, he's already got his coat and his tie off from having to do his SmackDown segments, and I'm not going to ask for a picture. I'm not.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bug him. It was after the show, and his coat was off, his tie was off, and he had a bag of Subway with him. Subway's right next to the Sheraton. It's where we ate dinner. So we're walking in, and I look over, and I'm like, oh golly, it's Nick Aldis. My kids are behind me, and
look, and I'm sitting here doing this.
Jess is not even paying attention. I turned around to listen to Dave, and I'm like, Nick Aldis, and Dave was like, what? And so I said, hi, Nick. And he didn't hear me. Well, we got into the lobby, and I looked at him again, and I said, hi, Nick, you guys did a really, really fantastic job. A great show tonight. Thanks so much for coming to Birmingham. And he turned around, he goes, oh, thank you. And then he went on to meet some of his road crew and everything for dinner. So we just walked on, but that was neat, at least getting to say hi to him and get an acknowledgement.
I didn't hear any of that, see any of it go down, and Brock walks up to me and goes, you're just totally oblivious that's Nick Aldis right in front of you right now.
And she was almost going to stop and go pester this guy. I'm like, no, he just got his food. Stop.
Yeah. I hope they use him in some form of competing capacity, because dude was great in NWA.
Dude, I would not be surprised if they take him and eventually have a feud with Randy Orton or somebody, or even even with Adam Pearce
Mhm.
Yeah, the
over
other
for Raw,
manager.
because I mean they're both wrestlers.
Yeah.
Or maybe have William Regal come
Yeah.
up as the SmackDown general manager at some point.
That's what some people have been discussing, that Nick might move on to you know to be
Competition.
compete might move on to compete, and then them bringing William Regal in as manager. Yeah.
So, but it was neat getting to see
Mhm.
him and see everybody up. So it was a fun night,
Really fun show.
really fun time. So, glad we got to do that. Probably be a few months before they come back in the area, and
Mhm.
that's fine. That's the way their tour schedule goes. But
Yeah.
so, well, SmackDown happened on Friday and was a very fun time. A very sad thing happened that day as well. Unfortunately, Carl Weathers, beloved actor, passed away. And we've been talking, and poor Kevin, he's been sitting there enduring the wrestling talk. But I wanted to get his thoughts, especially with Grief Karga being such a pivotal character in The Mandalorian, and now unfortunately we don't have Carl anymore. And maybe just talk about Carl's roles that you guys know him from, and what does this mean for Mando?
I mean, Grief Karga was such a small part of this man's overall career. I mean, yeah, obviously it has a huge effect on Mandalorian, but I mean, that's just the same as some other characters that have been removed from the from the show for whatever reason. They'll write around it. It's fine. The last time we saw him, he ended up. What happened to Jess?
She's oh, sorry, and I muted my own mic while saying that. I was muting her mic. She's taking a break.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway,
She's got to go potty.
Okay. So
she's gonna hear that and kill me.
So yeah, they will basically just rewrite. And the last time that we saw him, he was he was over a planet basically. So
yeah,
it's just basically okay. Well, we just don't go see that planet now. I mean, that's fine. It's like, and Star Wars had this tendency of like, and they've been trying to get out of this, but they have this tendency of everything at the very least has to take place on Tatooine at least once.
Yeah.
In every series, and it's like that planet. There are thousands and thousands of planets you could go to, then you got to go back to that one every time. So, they're branching out. So I don't think that will be a problem for like the movie or anything going forward. But I mean, Carl Weathers, honestly, he's known for Apollo Creed more than anything.
Yeah.
The Rocky movies defined a lot of my childhood.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the A-Team. I loved Mr. T. Mr. T was so when Clubber Lang was was in Rocky. That was huge. I mean, I think I've told the story before about the first time I ever watched that movie, I cried when Clubber Lang lost because Mr. T was my fan, and my dad was like, "Why are you upset? He was the bad guy." And of course, now that I'm older, I see him and it's like, yeah, he was a freaking jerk. He was he was he was really bad, like really bad. But anyway, Carl Weathers, his character as Apollo Creed, just being a villain overall. That pretty much defined him as an actor. And then of course we had him in Predator, and he's had a nice long illustrious career, and he'll be missed for sure. But I honestly don't think it's going to have a huge impact on Mandalorian. I really don't. There's so much going on, so many things they could potentially do that it'll be kind of like, oh yeah, well, but if you go back and watch it, you're like, oh man, I really, Carl Weathers' character, I really wish we could, see him again, but I don't think it's really going to be that big of a thing, honestly. Not in trying to minimize his character in any way. He had a huge impact. He was a main character in the series, but overall, the story just moves on. They've got very good writers for Mandalorian. Obviously, it's a phenomenal show. So I don't think we're gonna have any issues there. But obviously he'll be missed. He passed away peacefully in his sleep, which is kind of what I think we all want to do. When the time comes, when you meet your end. So, really not much more to say. I mean, phenomenal guy. He's one of those actors that you can pretty much look back and you can trace his career with all the roles he's done, and he's had a definite impact on on probably on all of us. So
Yeah. Of course, I agree. Apollo Creed was such a fantastic character, but my favorite role he had was Chubbs
Absolutely.
in Happy Gilmore.
oh yeah,
That's such a classically funny line. So, role.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people paying tribute to him. I saw Adam Sandler pay a tribute, and the aforementioned actor that was no longer on The Mandalorian had really, really good things to say about him
Yeah.
as well. And yeah, man, legend,
Mhm.
absolute legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of great tributes out there. I agree with a lot of the people that's worked with him over the years.
Yeah. And we were talking before we started recording. I definitely like one of you guys said, I think it was Bo, talking about the Abe Lincoln and Chubbs and the Gator
Mhm.
Yeah.
up in the sky waving at the end of
Mhm.
Happy Gilmore. I
Yeah.
definitely saw that photo floating around more often than not.
Yeah, and a lot of people shared the bit from Happy Gilmore of, look, Happy, finally got
Both of
both
them.
of my
While the piano's still playing, he holds up his hands.
Yeah. So
I want to say he had a cameo in Little Nicky as
He did.
Chubbs again. Yeah.
he was the aerobics instructor.
Oh
in
yes,
Heaven. Yeah.
yes, yeah. That's right.
Or the dance instructor or
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, he was in Little Nicky. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were talking about he was 76 when he passed away.
Mhm.
Jonathan Banks, who plays Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and has been in several other roles, just turned 77. And,
Wow.
and we were discussing what roles that Jonathan Banks had played. I didn't know he was like one of the flight control guys in Airplane. Like when he was checking something in the microwave, they were in the control tower or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was him. Huh?
Well, we were shocked because this is going to shock a lot of y'all, but Brock and I both watched Beverly Hills Cop for the first time, like about a week ago, wasn't it? About a week or so ago.
We had never sat down to watch Beverly Hills Cop, and we know that they're coming out with a part 4.
Yeah.
And so we were just
Man.
cruising through Netflix looking for something to watch a few nights ago, and I'm like, because Jess has seen about every 80s movie they ever made. And I'm like, hey, do you care if we watch Beverly Hills Cop? And then it shocked me. She goes, yeah, that's great. I've never seen it, which floored me because I'm usually the one who has missed everything.
Don't pull my 80s pop culture card, okay?
No, there's
Look.
nothing wrong with that. I understand.
But
now you can watch the sequels.
Yeah.
Well, and I said, it came out in 84. And
We were a little young for it
we
then.
were a little young, and it just kind of like just one of those things I guess never caught our radar. But I mean, we know Eddie Murphy, and the soundtrack for that movie is I mean, I know the soundtrack very well. I know the songs from the soundtrack. Just
Man.
never watched the movie before. But yeah, you've got
The music in that movie is unreal.
And
So,
I kind of hope that they are able to do that with the new movie. And
Mhm.
I mean, with Eddie Murphy, he's still funny, but he's gotten a little more serious over the
Yeah.
years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well-
hoping from the trailer it doesn't look like it's going to be as funny, but I hope I'm wrong.
Well, the
really
reason
hope
I
I'm wrong.
brought that up was because we were surprised to see Jonathan Banks. We were like, "There's Jonathan Banks in this movie, and this young guy, he's got dark hair, and
It's
it's
Mike
like,
Ehrmantraut.
yeah, it's crazy to see it." So
You see him pretty much at the beginning too, because he's like he starts off and he's kind of like the main villain in the story.
Yeah.
yeah. He's got a very significant role in that first movie. So yeah,
Yeah, we were thrilled to see him, and that just that upped the movie for us as
Yeah.
well. And we love
Well,
Eddie Murphy and everything, but love Jonathan Banks.
Mhm.
Well, and I was looking, to kind of bring it back to Carl Weathers. I was looking through his filmography. I have actually forgot that he was Combat Carl in Toy Story.
Yep.
Oh,
I forgot that he was the voice for Combat Carl.
That's
Wow.
right.
It's like, what? That's crazy, man.
forgot about that too.
Did he do any conventions that we regularly attend? Because
don't
he
think
was
he
on the
was-
convention circuit the last couple of years.
I don't.
I think
know.
he was always wound up being at the ones we weren't at or nothing
Yeah.
around us because
I would have loved to have met him.
yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
Uh,
The urge the urge to scream Dylan at him would be the hardest thing I would have to fight.
man, well, it's that's a legend gone way too soon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, golly. Hey, we never got the chance to meet him, but he left behind a lot of good roles and a lot of
Oh
entertainment.
man,
So
shoot.
They did.
Now, and I want to hear about when you guys watch the rest of the Beverly Hills Cops. Beverly
We
Hills
will.
Cop, movies,
Hey,
because-
especially
Especially-
three.
well, it's the second one. Isn't it the second one that starts off where he's in jail? He's sitting there singing. He's got his headphones on. He's going, Roxanne, you don't have to put on a red light.
It's probably
It's
been.
like was
It's
that the
probably been-
second one?
I can't remember. It's been about 20 plus years since I've
Mhm.
watched 2 and 3, so they may run together at this time. So
Yeah.
I need to rewatch them before the new one drops.
was it
That's-
Robin and Sean that we had on the podcast? They were in part 3 in
Yes.
the box costume. Was that Robin or Sean or both?
Robin,
or-
I think Robin's in the costume. I believe.
Sean, if you're listening, Sean, you listen to the podcast, so let us know.
yeah.
Clarify this information with
Or I
us.
could just text him and ask him.
Yeah.
Or we could easily just look it up as we probably could have had the answer.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah. I can't remember, but they're in it.
Mhm.
So they've been on the podcast with us. Yeah, so Jonathan Banks, hang in there, man.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who knows when they're going to try to do something else Breaking Bad, try
Uh-huh.
to revive that, then we need him back, he's like
Well-
he could be the main villain again or something.
Giancarlo has made comments that he would, much like you had a Better Call Saul, he would be very happy if they were to do
Oh
something
my
similar with,
God.
yeah,
Come on.
Gus.
Come on.
with Gus.
I love Gus.
So
Yes, Robin was the fox in Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Okay.
okay.
This
That's
is
what it was.
IMDb.
Nice.
But didn't Sean work on that movie too? Something is
Uh,
screaming in my brain that Sean was he did
I-
something with that movie. I don't know why that's pinging a neuron in my brain.
Let's see.
Who knows?
There ain't no
Yeah.
telling with you, bro.
Yeah. Okay. We can just ask him.
Hey, we can ask him.
Yeah.
Hey, we can transition from this talking about Robin.
Yeah,
look,
Robin.
here we go. Segue.
Yeah, that's
transition.
definitely the segue to the next topic. And we have mentioned that we love Ghostbusters,
Mhm.
and we have friends who cover a lot of Ghostbusters stuff, and there's been several outlets that have done breakdowns of the new Frozen Empire trailer. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire hits March 22nd.
Mhm.
That's the release date, and we will be there somewhere for it for opening night for showing, definitely. But the new trailer dropped. Let's get your guys' opinions on this. 3 out of the 4 of us have watched the international version,
Mhm.
I
which told a completely different tale.
Yeah.
It didn't have Bill Murray being raunchy,
No,
his Vinkman, his raunchiness. It didn't have that in there, but
Well, I said that I wasn't going to try, it was different for me going into this one than Afterlife. I watched the trailer that dropped. I honestly, I feel like I got what I needed, kind of got, some basis, kind of got a more little grasp on storyline. So, and even watching that, I was like, boy, I wish I would have heard that line in the theater, or I wish I would have saw that in the theater, but I wasn't going to be disappointed or felt like I was being spoiled,
Mhm.
So I was about to start watching the international trailer, and I said, I think I'll hold off. I got what I felt like I needed from what I saw from the US trailer, the first one that dropped. And like y'all said, there's some different things in this one. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to save that for the theater. I'm going to save what I didn't watch from the international trailer to what I see in the theater.
Yeah.
So that's my reasoning for it. And go ahead.
I was saying, so the original trailer is the one where we actually get the confirmation of a returning character.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but Walter Peck. I
Mhm.
mean, spoiler if you haven't seen the trailer. Walter Peck is apparently the mayor of New York City now.
Great.
Is that what
Which
he is? Is it like that? Is they're saying he's mayor? Or
That's what it appears to be.
That's what everybody feels he is.
It looks like
and-
Lenny's office.
And if you guys roll back the clock a little bit, if you kind of remember, there was a point where we were talking about
Yeah.
this new Ghostbusters movie, and Brock was a little peeved because some
Yep.
spoilers had been dropped, and the
That's
spoiler
what it
that
was.
was dropped was that Walter Peck was back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've
Yeah,
known
William
about it
Atherton-
for a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
William
yeah,
Atherton was shown on set in a behind the scenes photo, and I went, well, crap.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, but he opens the new trailer,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Ghostbusters.
but we also get Slimer back apparently. So that's
Yes, we
cool.
do.
Yep.
Yes.
And a GB1 version Slimer.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh. Right.
He looks great. I mean, they made sure they showed him in a lot, quite a few
Well, he-
stills. He looks so good.
Well,
Dude, he had-
he's combination practical and visual effect. That's one thing that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And he had Cheetos dust on his mouth.
Yes, apparently there's a corporate tie-in with Cheetos, I believe.
I think so.
Oh.
And there's one with Icy as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard about the icy one, so I'm
Well,
I'm hoping that it's an ecto cooler flavored icy.
Hope so.
Hope
that would be
so.
great.
I hope Icy or High C does bring back Ecto Cooler for this one. I still have 2 cases of unopened 2016 cans. I ain't open them.
No.
We're
I'll
also
trade you one for a collector's edition can of Peepsy.
You know what? I'll just give you one.
You
And
can
not
keep your
only-
Peepsy.
not only do we have Slimer, but we see that Eleanor is still hanging out in the basement reading her book.
Yes.
Yeah, she's still down there.
Yep. Ray bumps into the
Yeah.
library ghost
Mhm.
again, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing I wanted to say about the main villain in this, I can't get past the fact that he sounds very similar to a Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that he however it happens, obviously we don't know how he comes to be, but
Yeah.
we don't know if it has to do with whatever, they were touching the little globe thing or whatever. But he gets out and he's like, I'm not complete yet. So he pulls his horns off of the
Off the
he,
wall.
plugs them in, and he's like, I'm good to go now. And you see him unfold. I was like, that's freaking cool. I mean, the guy's gonna have trouble getting through doors, but it'll be all right.
The one thing is interesting with this, and like I said, someone brought it up. I'm getting lots of Men in Black vibes from this
Yes.
Big time.
trailer.
Big
Mhm.
time.
There was the rumor a long time ago that they were going to do
Yeah.
a Men in Black and Ghostbusters crossover. And sitting right over here on my shelf right now
Mhm.
is a board game, Ghostbusters and Men in Black Extraterrestrial Invasion. It's a
Mhm.
huge board game with Men in Black and Ghostbusters minis that you can paint and stuff for the
Mhm.
board game. We haven't played it yet. We need to.
Yeah.
But so that's across. I mean, they're both Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't said
So
they
it
could
could
be in the
happen.
same universe for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There was that rumor for the longest time before Answer the Call came out.
Mhm.
Like there's things I'm trying to think because like I've watched both the trailers consistently and I don't want to cross anything for Jess. Like the coolest thing, like I get like this is like I'm trying to remember. I think it might have been in both of it, but probably my favorite. Like I've bragged about it on Twitter. My favorite shot might be the shot of the stream freezing.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Where Big Bat, his name's out there. Do we want to say the name?
Yeah.
might
I
as
mean,
well.
Yeah. Garaka.
Garaka. Death chill.
Yeah. Lucky is firing her proton stream at him and he freezes the proton stream. And that is a fantastic effect.
Yeah.
And it goes down to her and starts icing her over.
Mhm.
I cannot wait to see that sequence, see more of that.
Like there's
Like how
an-
is he? Sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, and how is he able to do that? That's the thing. It's like you
Level
never
5. Well, you got to think. Also, look back on Afterlife. Gozer uncrossed the streams. This is new
true.
territory
Mhm.
where the ghosts are a little bit stronger. I mean,
Well, I mean, come on. Gozer knew that. How did they take her out the first time? You
That
know?
is true,
So she,
that
she
is
kind of knew
true.
she had to do that. So she was kind of like, "Oh, I ain't gonna do that again."
yeah.
Mhm.
Was it the American trailer or the international trailer that showed
Mm.
the research lab?
Probably the
international.
international.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
you didn't,
international.
you didn't see that.
I didn't.
Jess.
I don't remember seeing much about the research lab.
Okay, all right.
Um,
I won't touch that one
spe-
then.
But I
Oh, you
did.
got the pin? Is that?
Yeah, I got those.
pen?
Yeah, no, this is AJ's.
Oh, that's AG's pen. Okay.
Let me see if I turn my light off here if you want to see them. I've got two pins for him that are related to Frozen
Hang on.
Empire. I have the
Hang
this
on
is the
a second.
engineering division, I believe what it is called.
Okay.
Engineering or research and
Yeah,
something.
development. I have
Yeah.
that one, and though this is it hasn't been shown on screen, but it was like hinted at the last movie production and stuff.
The
But I
business
have
card.
the
Oh,
the Zedmore
yeah.
Industries Limited.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
I like that a
Winston
lot.
is a very and that was nothing that was in either trailers, but it's been alluded to in other forms. Like I think it was in like some of the production stuff that was from Afterlife that was on his table. They just never made it to screen.
Yeah.
We see a lot of new interesting tech in this. Janine's it looks like Janine, she's got something that is strapped to her hand.
Mhm.
That reminded me of the Tainted Love proton pack.
Yep, I think
much.
yeah.
I know it's probably not gonna be
Mhm.
exactly the same, but yeah, that was
And it did
That's
look
pretty
like
cool.
Janine that when I was looking at the photo, the still shot, it looks like it was Janine that is holding it, if I can
Oh, yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
tell with the interview. And then
Pack's as big as she is.
and then we've got drone ghost traps now.
That's
Cool.
smart.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Well, that's a
yeah.
logical
Yeah.
technological leap if you think about it, because you
Mhm.
know, I mean, back in the 80s, you know, drones were sci-fi, right?
Mhm.
And now that's just a common thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved when Venkman first saw
Oh,
Janine
my
when he
gosh.
walked
Yeah.
in. Melnitz in uniform. Of course, Ray's giving him that look like,
What I love that Vinkman just shows up. It's like he
Can I
just
be of assistance?
yeah, right. He just like walks in. He's like, all right, cool. So I fully expect in the movie we'll just go for probably 3/4 of the movie, and all of a sudden it'll be like, hey, there's Bill Murray, and he's here, and he's here for the rest of the movie.
I love what they're doing with the deep cuts well, they're not really deep. They're obvious to the hardcore fans, but if you notice, Bill's wearing the orange shirt he wears from the first movie.
Yes.
Dan's wearing one of his shirts from the first movie. Like I love all the subtle hints and stuff like that.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely digging into the nostalgia for sure.
But I will tell you one thing. This is one of my theories, and I this because it's the name of the movie. I've seen it's in I think both trailers. You see the actual firehouse taking damage.
Mhm.
I really hope that this movie does not want to, I guess, eliminate that factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To move Ghostbusters forward.
You know, that's going to be a tough call. I would like to think that they don't remove the firehouse at all. You know, yeah, it's going to take damage and everything else, but at the same time, Winston's loaded now,
Yeah.
so Winston can repair it, make it
Well, I mean,
bigger,
God,
faster,
Peck-
stronger.
I mean, if Peck is mayor, I'm surprised he didn't have lead a drive to tear it down.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hoping that like, they make good on his, I'll get you, Venkman line that was left out from, at the end of the first movie, and then, we didn't see Peck again.
Yeah.
hmm
Like I hope they're.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, so you're probably thinking what I was saying. I hope they show what he's been up to between the events. So I'm sure that's one thing I hope that maybe with the good use of de-aging technology, I would love to see like just a quick montage of like, what happened
Yeah.
from 89 to
Well,
2000.
that would be something cool to put in the credits.
Yeah.
Or something, I mean, kind of like,
I mean-
yeah, they could easily put that as like a sidebar as the credits are rolling or something.
Yeah.
hmm
That opening, though, talking about Peck too, the opening of the trailer, I really enjoyed how they tied the past,
Yeah.
how they tied the shots from the past to the shots of now to the present. So I like that inner working there, how he's telling he's going about telling the story and opening up the trailer. I enjoyed that.
hmm
Yeah. So, I mean, the trailer's great. We'll got a couple more weeks and we'll be able to finally see it in the theater. So yeah.
The one thing I can say about this, and then I'll, obviously we're trying to get away from this a little bit, but is this was decidedly less Stranger Things.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And which I'm not
is.
saying Stranger Things feeling was a bad thing. It's just there was a little bit of criticism. It's like, oh, you guys just use the Stranger Things formula to bring it back. And this is not. This feels more like Ghostbusters.
Well, the
Like-
settings. I mean,
Yeah.
Afterlife being in Oklahoma, and the Afterlife wanted to, tell that story, tying, from the original to the present and things like that. So it tells the story of the family. Well,
Mhm.
okay, now we're come back to New York. Now it's, you know, now it's truly Ghostbusters. It's a
Yeah.
not that Afterlife wasn't
No,
a
we
Ghostbusters
get what
movie.
you're saying.
Y'all know
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well,
This is
Afterlife was good being removed because it wasn't in the city. It allowed it to
Right.
like there wasn't a whole, it's not everybody had a cell phone type thing. It
Mhm.
felt like an 80s movie, little small town, big event happening.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I hope, and I'm going to love this movie regardless. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
And knowing that, Gil Kennan and Jason and all have said that this is going to be kind of a real Ghostbusters type
Yeah.
Mhm.
episode,
Mhm.
have that feel to this movie. I hope they do these going forward, man. I mean, the real
Yeah.
Ghostbusters cartoons were so iconic and
Mhm.
had so many fun stories.
Right.
God, they had
they
so
have
much to pull
so-
from. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the exact words I was about to say.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have such a wealth of fun things that they could do with this from here on out. I think Ghostbusters is going to be around for a long time.
But
Already
honestly,
has been.
I think this might be like the last time we actually see the old guys get out and do something. Honestly, because
I
I mean,
think
all them
so,
guys,
too.
they're in their 70s. There's no
Yeah.
they after this is done in production, they'll be darn near 80 by the time the next one
Yeah.
comes out.
Oh
And
man, they could just come in and do just like a mocap recording for the next one and appear as a ghost or something.
Dan-
Yes, yeah. Aykroyd's
Yeah,
already
Dan
gave the
Aykroyd
permission.
has said, yeah, if y'all want to use my likeness and everything else for the future, go ahead. Yeah, so Dan is on. Ray will live forever.
What Ray say,
As long-
whatever we want him to.
Hey.
He says, as long as you let me plug some Crystal Head vodka, and then I'll be good to go.
That's all you got to do. You gotta make sure there's at least one bottle in the movie. We're good. You can use my
Yeah.
likeness.
You can just put it in the background. It's fine.
Absolutely. So yeah, stands forever.
Mhm.
That'll be the next one.
Yeah.
Of course, Ernie is in such good shape for his age
Oh,
and everything else. Ernie,
Looks more like in his 50s than 70s.
He really does.
He's a great looking guy.
Ernie won the genetics lottery,
Yeah.
hands down. Such a sweetheart of a guy. I have not talked to him in a while. I need to
Yeah,
track him down. I know he's starting to go back. He's starting to do conventions again.
I mean, that was the same thing with Carl Weathers. I mean,
Yeah.
Carl Weathers looked phenomenal for
Oh,
his
yeah.
age, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's man, it's can't wait. Frozen Empire is going to be a lot of fun, and whether or not we get to do some extracurricular activities for premieres, something like that. Whatever happens,
Mhm.
it's all good. I'm just super stupid excited for this movie to
Mhm.
come out. I really hope Jason and Gil have their hands in this for years to
yeah.
come,
I do too.
because
I do too.
Afterlife proved that they got the chops to keep this going, and Frozen Empire is looking the same.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot of new props and stuff to build once we get our workspace.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Man, speaking of Hasbro,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Before we.
everybody's like, there's not going to be another Proton Pack HasLab or anything like that. No more Proton wands. And so all of a sudden they go, okay, we gave you guys the Spangler wand from Afterlife. How about a 1984 wand? And ours will be here tomorrow or
they
Tuesday.
will. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
insane. Like somebody told me they saw that, like the order they got it, then they got it like the following like Sunday or something. Like it was within a few days.
I had a shipping confirmation the day I ordered it.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it should be here in a day or two.
Okay.
That's
Sorry I
awesome.
didn't tell you, honey.
I'm not surprised.
And
I'm just
it's
surprised. I'm just surprised that it's actually getting here as quick because they just announced this.
that
This
they
just
knew
came
we'd
out.
buy it.
Did they ship it FedEx?
Probably because Hasbro
Oh.
ships FedEx. Yeah,
Just
I
threw
think
it
they'll
on my mouth a little bit.
they'll show up at your business, honey.
Okay.
So yeah,
So-
now everyone's expecting to do an 84 pack, which that would be cool.
I'd be fine with if I didn't have one already.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be fine
Yeah.
with it.
I would buy. I missed the last one, so I'd buy that one. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
And you know what? I hope they do. I mean, that's a moneymaker for them. Ghostbusters props are moneymakers for Hasbro at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Just Ghostbusters in general is a cash cow for Sony. I mean, they're that's the reason this is just going to keep going and going. I mean, Sony. Everybody wants some of that Disney cheddar. You know, they want the Disney, like the comic book longevity, and Sony's seen that for years with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But even that's been kind of they got teamed up with Disney with that, and now they're going to go off and do their own thing. Sony's doing a pretty good job of nurturing their product lines, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I agree.
Franchises.
Sony looks good around, especially Ghost Core. That division looks really good. And Disney probably wants some of their own cheddar at this point, the way they've been losing money. But that was a random thought off the top of my head.
Well, I mean, Steamboat Willie, the whole them finally losing a portion of Mickey to the public domain. And then people are like, that means I can do anything I want to with it. No, it doesn't. You better be careful. The amount of people that visit Disney in a day, they have that many equivalent of lawyers on retainer. You don't want to mess with that. Disney's just waiting for somebody to do the wrong thing. And I mean, so far everybody I've seen that's used it in an official capacity, they're doing it right. But you have to still have to be careful. Just because it's in the public domain doesn't mean that Disney won't jump down your throat.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of things arriving, and HasLab projects and stuff like that, and I know I'm the only one really interested in Masters of the Universe. Those gigantic Eternia play sets that was crowdfunded in 2022. Yeah, they're arriving at doorsteps.
Oh wow.
Oh gosh.
Where you gonna put it?
I don't know, because I've seen pictures of
we have a table coming tomorrow.
Yeah, we got our gaming table shows up tomorrow too. Oh, this is great.
Oh my.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of people having their Eternia play sets showing up at their house. And they put them against like their kids and everything else, and the boxes are taller than the kids.
Oh no.
Oh, wow.
Oh no. Oh,
if you took Brock and Jess's house and you animated it and you put it in like Roger Rabbit, and then you had another house walk up beside it and then just squeeze it, it would just like erupt with toys.
It would. But truth be told, I have really been scaling back on the pre-orders. I've been canceling a lot of things. Yeah. I really have. I've been going through and finally been like, do I really need that? That was awesome when I first ordered it, but now I see it's coming up for shipping soon, and I'll cancel them. I'm doing that like with a lot of G.I. Joe Classifieds figures, because we're into the characters that I don't have a clue who they are. I've been canceling some of those. Some other products have been canceled for me because they decided they weren't going to make them anymore. Like Super 7's Roger Rabbit line, because they lost their contract with Disney. That stinks.
Brock, did you ever finish that the Ecto, the one that you were putting together with the pieces?
Sitting behind Jessica right now on the floor is that Ecto. I have got, how many packages are behind you right now, honey? She's counting. 4?
4.
There are 4 on the floor. Guess what? I have 3 more of those to get.
Ooh. And then you're done.
I'm done.
Wow. I'm so glad that company picked that back up and did it and finished it up for you. That would have sucked.
Yeah, I'll show that off. I've got a lot of photos in progress that I posted to Facebook over the last 3 years that I've been doing. 3-4 years. Actually, I started 4 years ago with it. Then the company Eagle Moss went bankrupt, and there was a lull in trying to get all that stuff restarted. But I do have three Ecto packages, 3 kits or 4 kits sitting behind Jess right now that I put there the other day, just so I can sit on the floor and put them together. I'm actually two of those boxes away from being able to put the Ecto top and the chassis together and finally have the Ecto. And I've got to do that. I don't know. Maybe this will be a weekend project soon. We don't have the kids for a couple of weekends, so that'll be something I do. But yeah,
Awesome.
I should have it finished by the summer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to finally, because the chassis right now is 3 feet long and sitting somewhere in the house. The main body of the Ecto is 3 feet long and sitting behind Jess right now, where I haven't put it up yet. And now I get to actually combine the two and have one thing taking up space instead of two. But yeah, I'll be done with the Ecto by summer. And
I don't.
my wallet's gonna, and all my the same company is also doing the Star Trek, the Enterprise D. Those packages are almost finished coming in too. So I'm very far behind on that model, but at least I will be done paying for both of those, and I'm not doing another one. One of these projects again. They just announced Kit from Knight Rider. Believe me, that's tempting, but no. They've also got where you can build an animatronic ET, life size.
Oh wow.
No, don't worry.
Yeah.
I saw the price. No.
Oh, I'm sure.
So,
I guess I don't know how we would segue into our next topic, but ET is just as good as anything, I guess. I'm sure they covered it at some point. They've been around forever. But it recently announced we have a Birmingham-based group of fellas that have been around by the name of Rick and Bubba. They announced that this year is the last year they're going to be airing the show. They're retiring. At the very least, they're retiring the show. We don't know if they're retiring, but they're retiring the show.
Yeah, they will end after 31 years. They're right now in the middle of celebrating their 30th anniversary, and announced this past week that they are hanging it up. And Jess and I have gone to their show. Jess has been a few times.
I've been to their show a couple times.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've been
doing
once.
Star Wars stuff. Yep.
Oh yeah. I've been once. They have what they call the golden ticket seats, where they have audience members that can come in and sit down. And Jess knows one of the members personally, and keeps in touch. And we listen to them.
Yeah.
And half for years. They've been around since 1994, and I was in our bathroom getting ready the other day, and I heard, "Oh no!" come out of the living room, and I'm like, "Oh no, was she okay?" I come running up here. Rick and Bubba's quitting. I'm like, "Oh, that's what it was."
Yeah, it was kind of. I mean, it was like one of those things.
Oh, okay.
Well, they said they were, at 7:00 they were going to make a historic announcement regarding the show. So it was like, okay, all right. And when he fired it off, he was like, "This is the last year of the show," and I kept waiting for them to say they were kidding, or they were joking, or whatever, and they just like, "No, this is it. That at the end of the year, that's it. They're retiring the show." So yeah, it's just what I mean. Hey, look at us so far in Alabama this year. Nick Saban.
Nick Saban retired. Rick and Bubba's hanging up the show. James Spann has said he's just getting started.
Yeah.
And Post Office Pies in Avondale's closing, man.
Yeah.
What the heck, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, with them, like Nix and I, we worked on like a small student-run show, and we interviewed them. This was the early 2000s. We went up there for a show and interviewed them, but I enjoyed them. Like I said, I picked them up during the early days, and like I said, I was always happy for their success, but I enjoyed them less when they went from hyper-local Birmingham South to when they went more nationally syndicated and got in deeper topics that I didn't enjoy them being in with. So, I didn't listen. I listened to little bits and stuff I'd see on YouTube, but
yeah.
I mean, I even though I didn't enjoy them, I never wished them to go away, which I'm kind of hate to see they're gone. I mean, that's, one of those things that's always been around. It's an Alabama
Birmingham staple.
Yeah, Birmingham staple. So, whether you enjoy them or not, it's just one of them things, everything has its time and end. So, I mean, I hate to see it end, but then again, I understand you've been working for 30 years, getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning during the week. I could understand, maybe it's time to sleep in a few times during the week.
Yeah.
They both got at least a couple of Scrooge McDuck vaults full of money at this point.
Yeah,
around in. They'll be fine. They're not going to be bad off.
Yeah, they're going to be fine. They've got they've each individually got even projects and things that they're involved with. So and who knows? I mean, look at us. In the world today, you don't have to be on a radio. You could do podcasting. So the world is still out there now. Whether it's just that they're retiring the show and they may do things past that. So who knows?
Rick, in an interview last week, Rick said that he wanted to continue doing radio in some capacity. So he's probably going to hang with it somewhere.
Yeah.
Bubba said he's going to be an underwear model.
Well, I know he's had his health issues, and it's so weird. Like, it's like I know now they've got to be getting towards being grandfather territory. Because I remember listening to them when their kids were born, and now their kids are all at least 20 years or older. So they've got to be getting
None of their kids have kids yet.
Greg, who is Rick's is Rick's younger brother, is a grandfather.
Yes.
I would say I remember when Greg was the guy they called and bothered him while he was at work because he was a hard-working pole climbing gentleman that was lineman at Alabama Power.
Yeah, blue collar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg to me is probably the funniest on that show.
Well, he's more like they used to be.
Cranky.
But let me tell you something. He is solid gold.
Yeah,
in person. He's the one that I keep in contact with. That when I used to just go up there when they were in Vestavia and you had the studio with the glass. Yeah. I'd walk up there and wave, and we're in his direction, just kind of wave, and he'd throw his finger up, and I'd meet him around at the side of the door, and I just would get to go. I didn't have to make a reservation to go see the show. I just showed up, waved in the window, and he's he throws his fingers up, let me in. So.
My wife is a stalker, y'all. It's okay.
I'm not a stalker.
That's what stalkers say.
Yeah.
I'm not a stalker. I like to show appreciation to the people and the things that I enjoy and that I love. That's not stalker. Okay, then. All right. We can end and on that note.
Do we need to show the picture of you kissing Shawn Michaels?
At this point.
I
asked. He could have said no, but he didn't. So, I didn't just lay into him, or I did ask permission or ask if it was okay.
And he was at that point in his life. Yeah.
But though,
anyway.
like for those, I know there's some people who
Macho Man. Sorry.
But
I will know for sure. I will know for sure if Ryan Dole has listened to this podcast just within that last statement. I'll know if he's listened to this podcast episode.
Yeah, he loves to bring that up.
But for real though, I know a lot of people who've they've had their feelings of disagreements on how the show is going and all that stuff with you enjoying, but it's a thing to acknowledge. 30 years of radio and I said they went from having to tow their the Funmobile to events to now they had like a big giant U-Haul truck they could carry and do stuff with.
Yeah. I just want to know what's going to happen to their big boy statue.
Oh, that is a good. I remember that was a big deal when they got that.
It's in their studio right now.
Yeah, it is. They got Big Boy over there.
It's the Big Boy studio now.
So I missed the days of the turkey toss at the Galleria. I attended a couple of those. Those were very fun.
Yeah. And I actually won my season tickets for the XFL through them because they had an event for you come down to Legion Field and try to kick a field goal, and they had a women's and they had a men's division. Not a single woman showed up.
Nice.
So I
won by default.
I won by default.
I was
Score!
thinking as short as you are, you were the football.
I won by default because no women showed up to compete. So, and I still have my ticket stubs for the original season there, Beck. So
nice. Mm-hmm. I got a couple of mine. I didn't do season tickets, but I got a couple of them. That's nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of a shocking end to something that's been a staple, for 30 years in the Birmingham area. So,
yeah. Yeah, exactly like you said, but however you feel about them, that's an institution, a radio institution, especially these days. And, me, an old radio guy, I probably wouldn't have survived because radio automation and satellite programming and everything else took over local jobs.
Yeah.
Local radio is a is a rarity these days.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's syndicated.
Yeah.
So,
And I still appreciate
including Rick and Bubba.
Mhm.
Yeah.
mhm.
It's
Yeah,
true.
and so there's an opportunity for other morning shows in different markets to, to sprout up. Who knows if they'll go local or nationally syndicate again.
I hope maybe when their last show is, I really hope if it's possible, this is, I'll show you how we've listened to them. I need Willie and Wanda on the last show.
They have stated
But-
several times they have no idea where they are.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do have their library on Apple Music, so you
Mhm.
can find the albums,
Best of CDs.
the best of CDs that has the Willie and Wanda story.
If
on
you
it.
haven't had
Yeah.
that, I don't care. That
Yeah.
is hilarious. You
Yes.
need to listen to that.
Mhm.
That's
I agree.
Yeah, they didn't want anything else to do with them after that.
Rightfully so.
Yep. Oh, well, we'll see what pops up and takes their place on the radio
Mhm.
dial. But yeah, if I'm not listening to podcasts and everything else going to and from work in the morning, I've usually got their show on just basically for Greg
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Greg's so funny.
Yeah.
He's so grouchy. I love him. Grouchy. He's old and ornery like all of us
Yes.
back in my day. So, well, anything else you guys want to discuss before we ride off into this episode's sunset?
No, babe, I'm done.
You're tuckered.
I'm talked out. Yeah.
All right. Well, we thank you guys for joining us. Of course, if you want to keep the conversation going, join us on our social media channels, Bama Geeks, at Bama Geeks on Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you want to chat in a little bit more private setting with a whole bunch of lovely people, Bama Geeks Front Porch on Facebook, just search that out and we'll chit chat. And also, $5 a month will get you bonus audio before every regular episode. Patreon.com/Bama Geeks. And we got some fun things coming ahead hopefully in the next few months for the podcast itself. We're cooking.
Mhm.
We're cooking.
Yeah,
Ideas. Time is a beautiful thing, and we're going to make the most of it. So,
Mhm.
all right, we're going to wrap it up for episode 73. I am Brock. That's Jess.
That's
and then
me.
Bo and Kevin. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Bye-bye.
See you later.